Mr. Kabra, great to have you on the show. Just everyone in the market is just so excited about the kind of opportunity that electricals and cables as a segment is going to throw up. Tell me, what vision do you have for your company over the next 5 years? What kind of numbers, projections, CAGR are we looking at 5 years hence?
See, basically, we have a goal of that in wire and cable segment will be growing at least for next 3-4 years, minimum 20% CAGR, and in electrical FMEG will be growing around 30% because our electrical base is a little small, and there is going to be a good demand for wire and cable industries for another next 15-20 years minimum.
Mr. Kabra, within your various segments of the business, which is the highest growing segment right now? And what do you foresee? Do you have adequate capacities for the same?
No, so we are expanding our capacity. As we mentioned that in the next 1.5 years, we'll be expanding our capex plan is around 700 crores. And our major growth will come from cable because basically, as you know, that we as a company from wire to cable and cable to FMEG. So our cable base is very small compared to our peers because they came from cable to wire, and we are moving from wire to cable. So there is going to be much more growth in cable. Of course, wire is a core component for us. Right now, we have like 70% of our business is from wire and 30% is from cable. So definitely, the cable will grow much more faster, and then wire will grow.
Okay. And you think the large chunk of the revenues are going to come in from the domestic business, or do you see a bigger opportunity or as bigger an opportunity when it comes to the exports market too?
See, both places opportunity there. Advantage in export business because our major export is to all developed world, where the quality is a major concern for them, and they respect for the quality and kind of approval we have. As you know, that we are the only company in the world which got 35 international approval for single factory. So there we have advantage over local market. In local, still there is a big challenge is happening. There is a lot of quality compromising is happening in the market, but we as a RR, because this RR brand belongs to my name is RR is on my mother and father name, and as a company policy, we don't compromise on quality at all. So there is a challenge in local market because of quality compromises happening. Like in solar, there was a big challenge in solar wire and cable. Now, fortunately, that now government has come with the BIS approval, so we have an advantage that in solar business because we export only solar cable, we don't supply local. But now we have an opportunity because of government made a rule that they need to be BIS approval. BIS is as same as the global approval. So local market it will improve, evolve, and like same thing is happening fire survival cable. Unfortunately, they did aluminum, but where is aluminum is not at all workable for any fire survival cable because when fire takes place, its ambient temperature 900 degree and aluminum melt at 650. Now, so they made it again is copper. So these are the advantage. So we growth will be at the same both exports and domestic almost same, so 1% plus and minus here and there.
Putting such a lot of emphasis on overseas market, and we also gather when we talk to industry guys that there is a complete overhaul of power infrastructure which is being attempted at in parts of Europe and US. The ultra high voltage segment. I mean, some of your peers also showed very good growth out there. It appears that within the wires and cable that is turning out to be much higher. How much capacity do you have there, and are you raising capacity on that one ultra high voltage segment?
No, see, we are not into EHV, and we don't have any plan for the next 3-4 years for coming to EHV. But our focus is into medium voltage. So right now we got capability to up to make 66 kV and up to 122 kV we'll be making in next quarter. So we want to remain into up to medium voltage and high voltage. The extra high voltage we are not in the line. So there are very few players. Of course, I see a very bright future in EHV cable. But as a RR Kabel, we don't have any plan for next 3-4 years because the capex cycle and in India it's take a 5 years minimum to you have to prove your approval capacity. So it's a 5-year gestation period for anyone new player to come into EHV cable.
The only one thing, sir, is that your EBIT margins have been the lowest in the domestic wire and cable segment. It's less than 65% of your revenues versus your peers, like a Polycab, Finolex, which are clocking around 12 to 13%. Tell me, what's the main reason for this kind of a margin performance, and when do you hope to turn around?
See, we were turning around. You must have seen my last half year result. So we are turned around, and we'll be improving our margin. Basically, what happened, as you know, that we are the only company in India which is 100% REACH compliance and ROHS compliance. No one company is there. Though it's not in mandatory in India, but we believe as RR that we should give the same quality which we are giving to export market. And if you look into Europe, it's now mandatory. And in one factory, we want to maintain the same culture. See, there's going to be a big challenge for many companies, not in this wire and cable segment, but all the segments where people think that in domestic market they can play on quality. For export, they want to have a good quality. But we believe as RR that you cannot have a true culture in the company. That for domestic you have different standard and for international market different standard. So we want to maintain the global standard even for the domestic channel, number one. Number two, we had a market expand is little more because of our size. And the moment my size will increase, and we invested heavily on future demand generation. See, we are looking for market share grabbing. So we have achieved now. Gradually, we'll see the improvement.
Mr. Kabra, how much improved distribution are we looking at now? Because one is expecting that you're going to widen your distribution reach, not only here, but overseas as well.
See, overseas, our entire business through distribution. We don't supply anything to projects. If you look into my last 22 years track record, we supply only distributor, and there also we have a good demand. So demand generation, we control from India, and our distributor supplies there. And we have got a very respectable brand in a few markets, and we are very much focused that see, our model is sustainable. We don't do white labeling. Our white labeling business is hardly 10%, and we don't have any policy of China plus or strategy. We are beginning from we want to have a long-term sustainable model because they if somebody wants RR, they will buy for RR. Even if so, that's why you see that from 2001 till today, none of the distributor left us in the global market.
Your con call, was pretty well attended, and the street was very excited after listening to your analyst con call about the kind of growth which you have highlighted. In fact, Aisha and I were just discussing one very marquee and very well followed, closely followed fund manager, Mr. Prashant Jain, has bought your stock. What were the kind of most of the queries which were being posed? This was your first con call after the IPO. What were the analyst community probing you most on?
So, I will honestly, if you ask me, because I want to be always honest, that they were asking about the FMEG, means electrical business. They are worried, and we have committed that because this is a journey of 8 years, and next year we should be and we will be positive for electrical. So, cable, everyone is very confident for this kind of industries, and then only people are feared about the electrical business. So, that's where we are planning differently, and we will make it positive next year.